also is a big Nidalee player themselves. Like both these
True.
guys coming up through the IG system have actually very similar play styles, which is kind of interesting to see. But we'll have to see exactly what IG want to try and go for. Yeah, okay, we'll be the Taliyah.
You know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Nice little saying there. But I do appreciate the wink focus of the Renata as well. I don't think that would have come out first pick. I definitely think we should have seen the Taliyah, but I appreciate that RA are willing to go with a bit of, it was execution. It was a little bit of misplay there, and we'll see if we can adapt and kind of change going into game 2 and see if we do get that Ahri priority I was asking for and looking for coming into game 1. We finally get it in game 2. It'll be on Strive.
Yeah, so be on Strive to try and keep Mole in check a little bit cleaner than he was able to in the last game. Question marks on what Leyan wants to try and bring to the table here as well. Maybe he just goes back towards, well, I was going to say the Zinzao, but it looks like they're just going to grab the Aphelios anyway. And it looks like IG are going to go back towards this more pick-orientated style once more if this Vi is going to come through, but we'll have to see exactly what the plan is, because honestly, there's so many of these power picks got away. It's not like you're trying to match back and forth into like trading power picks right now. It's very much more about like what style of game do you want to play here on both sides.
And it'll be sticking with it from the game plan of IG in game number 1. They do get the Vi for Shun. And something that was banned by RA in game number 1 on blue side, the Draven comes through for IG.
Yeah, and I think this will give a good amount of control here for On and Wink in that bottom side. Also give a deliberate lane that IG can try and facilitate with these Weaver's Wall, with the ultimate on the Vi as well, to guarantee kills for On and Wink. So we'll have to see what I want to try and respond with, because at the moment, I don't know if I want to go for something like a Nocturne here. You're not playing a very heavy dive composition, so yeah, they're just going to end up taking the support, but that also means that you're going to have a lot of jungle bans coming through on IG side here, which means Leyan might be made uncomfortable.
And that is opposite exactly of what you would want for RA at this point, because you need Leyan to feel confident and comfortable, but not just yet.
Yeah, you need something that's going to be able to play around this bottom side, and right now, I just don't really see a jungler that can try and respond to it. Maybe the Zinzao is the option, but I think for IG, ban Zinzao, maybe ban something like the Lee Sin, and then you should be in a pretty good spot to kind of do what you want here, because you've already got so many bans that were coming through from the jungle in the draft, or in the first rotation. Now more junglers are only just going to make things harder for Leyan. Rare Adam though, banning the Blitzcrank, definitely I like this. We've seen it from Wink before, making sure that he's going to be uncomfortable, well, at least not have these point and click CCs as well, and probably the Nautilus ban, I imagine, coming through here. But we'll have to see exactly what they want to, because you want an aggressive support here alongside this Draven.
Just yeah, I look at like what is still left on the table with only the 2 bans left, and I would expect IG know exactly where they want to go. We do see the Nautilus though banned away, so IG's bottom lane gonna lose a little bit of that forwardness, but I think we still have a lot of options for that on the board. So I'm really interested in what IG do ban away here if they do want to continue to focus that lane champion pool, which I think would be very, very important.
Yeah, I mean, the Lee Sin, probably the other one that we kind of talked about. I just don't really see what else you could try and go in the jungle. Trundle, maybe another option if you're that worried about it, but
there you go.
Yeah, okay, so we'll be the Trundle. So I think the Lee Sin is probably what we'll see Leyan go for. It is a little bit tough because you can get interrupted by the Vi Q, but Cube is going to end up getting his Jax finally in one of these games, so looks like he'll be comfortable in that top side.
I think it'll be just fine at that point. That's the confidence pick we needed to see. Was a couple picks that banned away in the first game that we're actually getting to see in the second game, which I absolutely love, because we actually get to see some of that adaptation, some of that change. And Cube on the Jax, terrifying sight to behold, but it is the Gwen response that comes through. This was banned away by RA in game number 1, and we get the Pyke, baby.
Oh, and the Nidalee for Leyan. So things definitely getting spicy in this one. So Wink has brought out the Pyke already. Looked pretty good on it in their series against Ultra Prime. So happy to see what he's going to be able to do on this pick once more. Especially when you're paired alongside something like the Draven. And a lot of accompanying power coming through from that mid jungle that can move down towards this bottom side. So pick definitely the name of the game here for IG. We'll have to see if they're going to be able to find it, because Rare Adam, Leyan, going to be clearing through this jungle mega quick. And again, kind of looking to see if he can set up for like a charm into a spear, maybe some sort of CC in that top side as well, coming through from Cube onto Zika to follow up with these spears, although a little bit more difficult to try and play around that top side just because the hollowed mist.
I just feel like both teams at this point are kind of driving a very fast car with very rickety wheels. And they're both just trying to make it to the finish line, because both teams do have a little bit of that early game aggression available to them. You were talking about picks for IG, and what did they get last game so many times? What did they set up so many times? It was picks. And now this time RA saying, well, we got to give a little bit of that aggression back. We got to get Leyan something that he can drive forward on, Cube something that he can actually impact the fights on, and Strive, the Ahri. We were talking a little bit more about this pick in the A block, but it is integral to see Strive actually have the priority that we saw Mole have last game.
Well, I mean, you say that they're on like rickety wheels. I feel like the wheels have already come off as Rare Adam. They're just trying to see if they can spin their car to IG and take their wheels off with them.
True.
But we'll have to see as we get into game number 2, because game 1 went swimmingly for Invictus Gaming.
It did, and they are relying on a lot of the pieces that got them that game 1 swift victory there. But it is IG versus Rare Adam, getting into game number 2 now of this best of 3 series. And I just want to see the fist fight I was promised. I want to see the aggression come out. No more of these 0 kill games at 8 minutes between these two. And with the compositions we have, the aggression already coming out level 1. Haha, Mole.
Well, gonna be all right. Gonna back away. I think the big question here is gonna be a case of like, how effective can IG be in snowballing this? Because like last time, it was like last game, it was very much a case of IG needed to get the ball rolling. Yeah. This is even more so now in this game. Like Zika gets outscaled. On, if he doesn't get going, is going to be basically useless compared to iBoy. Same with Wink. Like Pyke, always a pick that needs to get aggressive in the early stages. So have to see exactly as it do. It looks like we're going for a bit of a late invade here.
This is what I would love to see, especially on the Nidalee. Didn't actually think those two rhyme, but On is in some trouble here. He is on the Draven, and he will be spotted out. Flash immediately comes away, and red buff secured by RA.
Yeah, so RA going to already cause issues with trying to get Shun to play around the bottom side. So nice job by Rare Adam to get in, steal away a ton of these camps, and just make sure that for Shun, he has to play up towards top side, as Wink will find iBoy. Might try and look for the hook onto someone here as they walk back past the tower, but we'll just back away.
iBoy just getting a lot of damage down. Now, obviously, Pyke's doing a little bit of that back. So Mole and Strive back at the aggression in mid lane, and we're seeing some of the movement. Leyan going into mid lane himself just for a level 2 gank, will not connect the spear.
Yeah, if he connected the spear, that could have been dangerous, especially since it's electrocute Nidalee, so a lot of burst damage up front is available for Leyan. We sometimes see the Conqueror Nidalee just try to like lane itself into those auto attacks and have more damage over time, but certainly upfront burst is the name of the game here for Leyan, so we'll have to see if he ever gets to land that. And at the moment, good start for Rare Adam, right? Control for iBoy and Zorah, which is great. Cube has been able to punish Zika in that top side regardless, and because Leyan moved back over towards this top side, it makes it very difficult for Shun to try and respond to this play, because he doesn't have control over bot lane. He doesn't really have pushing mid either to get people to help him.
And I just think this bot lane is going to be so interesting, because I just look at the Braum and the Pyke and the back and forth that can be had, but I just feel like Wink has a very tall task and a very tall wall in front of him down there. Maybe a little bit of help from Shun will be able to dissuade that aggression in the bottom lane, but we see both junglers heading down this way. They know where the prize could be at. As Wink goes for the Bone Skewer, does get a lot of damage on the Zorah. Shun tries to go back on the Leyan, but misses, and Wink is just going to go down to iBoy first blood for RA and make that 2.
2 kills for Rare Adam, and the fact you don't have the flash for On means he can't finish off Zorah, so great play from the new support for Rare Adam in being able to find that kill, set up the play for iBoy, and escape away from On.
That's actually incredible. And then you also look at the CS differential here, and it's a monumental lead in the bottom lane. We'll get a look at that.
Yeah, and here, look, Wink has already used one ability just to get into range. Zorah with the flash forward here means that the stun comes through into Wink, so there's no more damage. And great flash here over the wall from Zorah as well. Sorry, the stand beside me over the wall as well, to make sure that he's able to avoid any of that follow-up damage. Wink now just being a nuisance, but Zorah should be able to back away. So nice play early for Rare Adam thus far. 2k gold lead already.
Both junglers just heading down that bottom lane end up Shun getting outplayed a little bit, missed the Q, and unfortunately Leyan, he wasn't there to help Wink, right? And I think Wink's aggression still, we've seen him going for these bone skewers, but now you gotta re-hone that expectation a little bit at this point, because you do have 2 kills on this bottom lane. You do have, you know, a kill apiece for Leyan and iBoy, and a lot of possibilities off of that early on.
Yeah, I think this is where IG are going to be in trouble now. On and Wink already behind is not a good start for a Draven and a Pyke when we talked about how quickly these guys need to snowball. Shun as well, a level down to Leyan because he's been kind of trapped to a singular quadrant of his jungle is not ideal either. So across the board here, we're Adam trying to put the heat up.
Counter-strike, been followed up on maybe by Leyan, but he's going to go around and go for dive here. Cube getting a crest on, though. He has to go back over the wall. And now Cube going to bait Zika out into a 2v1, and Leyan gets the execution.
Hallowed Mist was down from that initial trade, so Leyan able to get the easy spear. Now going to move back in towards his own jungle to start clearing out. And Leyan, we talked about him, you know, carry jungler now up against Shun and his old IG counterpart. And he's having a field day in game number 2.
He really is. He's just running around on the Cougar, getting kills left and right. 2 already. And has the Dark Seal, so 2 stacks there. And that's a vast difference from game number 1. And that I think has to be highlighted in terms of like early advantage, this huge lead that RA have developed just under 6 minutes.
And you need to try and find some way to slow it down as IG. So looking at Wink, he's trying to see if he can roam mid, maybe look to make a play there. But with 6 hit for Strive, it becomes a lot more difficult. Bot side as well hasn't got the control that it really wants now to find plays with Mo. Maybe even Wink getting caught out here, but we'll just back away. So it all just becomes more and more painful to make these plays, because if you try to go into the bot side of Shun, you're level 4 to the level 6 of Leyan.
Yeah.
You don't have a good time there. You've got already the big advantage for iBoy in this bottom side of the map with Zorah. So unless you can find some way to get Mole down before Strive, that's your only real hope.
Has to get over wall there. Honestly, it's such a good perspective to give, right? And especially looking at what their hope can be. What I love here is Leyan's just pretty much saying, like, Shun, I know you dabble in Nidalee, but I'm the real Nidalee here, right? That early, like, it is literally crazy how different this early game has gone and how different Leyan just feels on this champion.
Yeah, I mean, it's full confidence, right? You have a really smart early invade here to make sure that you split the map. Nobody's able to play down towards On and Wink. On as well, I mean, weird, we'll say, position and what he was trying to do with the bush, like constantly walking in and out, just out of boredom it looks like, essentially, and it ends up catching him. So he had to burn his flash early, which means he doesn't have flash for lane, can't play aggressive, ends up having to take the long route into lane, so he's already down in levels as well. Like, it's kind of just a comedy of errors, unfortunately, on IG's side that have stuck them in this position. And now, as that gold lead is starting to creep up even more and more, they gotta do something, but I just don't know what that something can be when they've already kind of dug themselves the hole they have.
It's really difficult to see that setup, but Wink always looking. I think it's important on the Pyke to be doing that, to keep that aggression up, but sometimes can probably not work out for you. If that actually would have connected, Wink is dead. Wink dies anyways, and On has to flash now. Concussive blows at 3 stacks, not gonna get that 4th. Shun with a response in top lane. Zika is not. Oh, he doesn't die. Shun gets the kill at the last second.
Yeah, Mole had to use the Weaver's Wall to get up there, though. Means that he won't have that available and didn't get the assist. So now On is being bullied off this bottom side. And big difference here is that iBoy, I mean, if he gets ahead on this Aphelios, he's going to be able to do work in these fights as well. Leyan still hovering, still trying to see if he can spot out where the enemy jungle is, but won't catch it this time.
He's still looking, though, and I think that's still very, very important, as now the Rift Herald play from RA will come through. Back from Zika, goes out. That'll be a nice next objective at least taken by RA, and they just have the flow of the map at this point. Wink and On trying to stop iBoy and Zorah, but it might not be a fight you want to take necessarily. Mole is here, doesn't have the Weaver's Wall. Wink in some trouble. Moonlight Vigil comes out, and iBoy gets caught again by the seismic shove, giving memories of game number 1.
Mole has to keep doing this work, because don't forget what we're talking about, right? For IG, they essentially need to win every single game. Because the people that they're battling against are teams like FPX, who have a series still in hand against WE. If they win that series 2-0, well then you can only match the game difference as IG if you win every single game, and they still have a series against RNG as well. So for IG, if Mole can try and claw his way back into this with these roams, maybe IG can take the 2-0, but an upset here for Rare Adam with this game number 2 could prove fatal for IG.
Yeah, and speaking of momentum and all that stuff that goes with it, off that game 1, we thought IG would have the momentum, but the swapping of sides has really affected them, and the pickup of RA has been huge in terms of the draft for game number 2. But Strive still gets cut. There's seismic shoves. They still land, but Strive doesn't go down this time around.
Just not enough damage again. Oh, hang on.
Here we go. Oh! On the pullback.
So
No.
close. But, I mean, this is the problem, right? Shun set massively far behind, has only got the Caulfield's Warhammer and change there in his inventory, so not actually able to have enough damage to help take down the mid laner for Rare Adam. And again, this whole time, iBoy, he's just happily farming up. CS lead, nearly all the plates on that bottom side going his way as well, and we're only at the 10-minute mark.
And Leyan's going for yet another gank. And this time back to top lane. Zika trying to take the 2v1 yet again, went the wrong way, or trying to just outplay at least with this huge minion wave, and Cube has the flash. Now Zika has no cooldowns left, and it'll be an easy chase down here if Cube wants to try to finish it off. And one last smack, and Leyan gets the swipe.
Oh, the heal from Leyan and that triumph saving Cube in that instance. So a little bit close now. IG going to respond on this bottom side. Has pushed for Mo once more, so should get the blue buff. Maybe get some of this turret plating as well for On, who desperately needs it at this stage. Working up towards that Eclipse, but a long, long way from being in comparison with Cube. Being in comparison with iBoy.
The question is, like, I understand the willingness to give Draven resources, but with the way that Mole carried last game, do you not think that it should just go to Mole? Just give all the resources to Mole and see if he can just clutch it out again?
I mean, Taliyah isn't, like, generally now. I will say
not.
Mole did great, right? But, like, generally it's much harder for Taliyah to carry. And, I mean, the Draven has to get resources. He builds lethality. He's just not going to be functional late game. So no matter how many resources he gives to Taliyah, she can only really pick one person. But we'll see it here.
The pro view.
Nearly a nice turnaround here from the Gwen as well. Just not quite able to get that damage down with the flash. But just nice job here from Leyan, using the multiple different abilities that he has. And just here, one quick heal on that triumph, making sure to keep his top laner alive.
Yeah, that's huge. Special shout out to the LPL with the return pro view. Glad we get to see some of those little moments, even if it wasn't the most expressive moment in the moment. But now Mole going top lane. Weaver's wall used. Cube wants to take the 1v3. He gets cease and desisted, and now Zika will make it out while Cube trying to chase him down. Wink is also here for a little hello. Does not get the death from below.
Yeah, I mean, you have to trade this here for IG for bot lane Terror and Rare Adam. I'm going to see if they can maybe trade a mid lane as well.
No, On. He is just CC down. Concussive blows from Strive.
I mean, massive mistake there from On. Gets caught by the charm, but it means that even when he hits the cleanse, immediately caught by the Glacial Fissure, which knocks him up, so it doesn't get to roam anywhere. And again, Rare Adam are just picking apart IG every time they try to make a play. All right, you get the kill top, we get one mid, we get bot terror. They probably get some plates here in mid lane as well, but Shun has moved over to try and deny that.
Well, hey, I wanted to pick up in the action, and this is definitely a pickup in the action, especially from RA. It just seems like the red side buff coming in clutch here. A lot of aggression coming out from the red side already today. We also get the Night Harvester now completed there for Leyan, and we'll take a look at the top lane play.
Yeah, this was nearly Zika kind of getting the return problems that Cube was able to offer, but Wink missing out on the ultimate. Bit of a hijinks there as well. Just all a little bit disorientated from IG, and then this as well. The charm connects right as the Glacial Fissure hits on, still CC'd essentially for the whole duration, which gives Strive all the damage that he needs.
And gives the kill to the Ahri. Now Leyan right back at it. We'll be back on the map with Zorah as they continue to try to pick apart the team composition of IG. They've pressed their vision up. They have the side lane right and ready for Cube to take control of, and now they just pretty much look for Leyan to find picks and follow him up.
Yeah, I mean, they're just going to be able to continuously push this one forward. It's 5,000 gold lead already, for 2 dragons to their name. This has been complete domination from Rare Adam, and a sad sight for IG, honestly, because, I mean, we looked at IG kind of going, hey, look, this is one that you should be trying to pick up the Shun.
They just really don't like iBoy. They're trying to get him here, but Shun isn't able to get the follow-up damage from the rest of his team. Zorah is flashing forward now to try to get the concussive blows, and they do connect. Wink goes down, and next will fall is on. Mole just has to sit there and watch. He might get the outplay of a century, but it ain't going to be this time around. iBoy gets the kill.
And our potential playoff problems are coming back here, Mazel. 10-3 in the scoreline. Rare Adam's card is already skidded out of control here, but they want to make sure that they're taking IG down with them. I mean, at this stage, IG, you're just thinking about game 3. Like, how the hell do you try and come back for an 8,000 gold lead 15 minutes into the game?
All right, so since we got a rampaging cougar out on Summoner's Rift right now, I got to ask you, Dagda. Big cat's one of my favorite animals. I guess I'll ask you after the replay. We'll talk after this, okay? Get your big cat suggestion ready.
Look,
no, we're not going to watch.
I don't want to.
He turns
all right, you know what? I'm
going to refuse to talk about the ADC,
so everyone, Mazel used to be a zookeeper.
I did.
Which is honestly one of the coolest jobs ever. So I'm going to let him have his thing about big cats and refuse to talk about this replay.
All right, what's your favorite big cat?
You don't get to control me.
What is your favorite big cat? What is it?
A liger.
A liger? Interesting.
I think they're sick. Yeah.
Yo,
a mixture between a lion and a tiger. I think they're just really cool. Yeah. They're big old boys. But obviously, same as like a mule. They actually can't breed.
Yeah, exactly.
They're just really
That's I was gonna follow. I'm glad you brought out the information. See, it's story time here with a little bit of biology. Okay.
So what's yours?
I've always had a big, you know, it's always cool to see ligers. I would say I have to go tried and true. Lion would be my first. Tiger, very, very close second. I don't know, just king of the jungle, you know, the majesticness. Also, I'm a Leo. Yeah. That has nothing to do with it, but I just really like lions. I've also gotten to work with lion cubs. And so that it just like melted my heart because at first tigers were my favorite, like heads and above tigers, but then I got to work with a bunch of lion cubs and
there's
changes you.
I think it's in Thailand, I want to say, but I could be completely wrong with that. There's like a tiger sanctuary that you can go to that's run by Buddhist monks that I really want to go and see. And we actually get to go in and like pet the tigers, and they're like well used to humans. So obviously, you have to be very careful because they are still wild animals. But it'd just be absolutely incredible to see. But,
that is really cool, actually. I'm gonna have to look that up. Strive wants to look up the death count of Mole and make it 2, but it didn't happen this time around. RA just trying to press and prod wherever they can at this point. It's like another game of Jenga on the LPL screen. But it's just trying to find those advantages with a little bit of stagnation here, honestly. But 10,000 gold, I feel like you can stagnate a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, they're honestly just buying time here. For like 50 seconds until Dragon, they're going to reset. They already have the vision control they need set up. Control of the map as well. So it means that they can come back out, quickly take that third dragon. And if you actually try and like contest here as IG, you're running into Zorah, Strive Charms, Leyan Spears. There's just so much that you got to be careful of that can half health you, especially with 2 items now complete on towards Leyan. The Dark Seal at line stacks. Honestly, just put it into the book. Like, just do it. Just fully commit here, Leyan.
So I want to talk a little bit about next game potentially because we have to be out, right? Both these junglers, well known for their Nidalees. Obviously, Leyan having a little bit more track record. Actually double the games before this one on Nidalee. Way higher win rate, about 66.7% win rate on the Leyan Nidalee. But do you think this is where Shun is like, I swear if they ban Nidalee next year, I need my Nidalee. Like,
I mean, at this stage, look, it'd be nice to get the Nidalee off.
Yeah.
It's like you have to see who's going to be able to come out on top. But, I mean, Leyan putting on a clinic right here. And I think the team has been playing around and breed really well. But this is what we're talking about with Rare Animals. Like, they look their best when they have lanes that they can try and play around Leyan with. And we're seeing it now. Like, this is just kind of it, like, ramped up to 10. Or even maybe 11, to be perfectly honest, with how successful this game has gone.
Ooh, Mole got an impression, but it's on to the big shielded Braum. I guess he's a wrestler with this skin. So the chair blocking a lot there.
I can't not see Jack Black when I look at that.
Nacho Libre?
Yeah.
Oh no, Leyan! This could be a big shutdown, but RA are collapsing now with Cube, the rest, but it is a big shutdown to Mole. Moonlight Vigil from the side from iBoy. IG trying to take this fight, but here comes Strive, and here comes that gold gap, baby! IG just decimated. A double kill for Strive, and there's even more gold into the vault of RA. Flash out for Strive to get away from the seismic shove, and Mole will die with the rest of his team. Wink will have a little bit to say but not much.
I mean, Wink can't really say anything after missing that ultimate straight onto the Zhonya's Ahri. It's been a bit of a disaster here for the Pyke. 0-3 on the Pyke, 0-4 on the Draven. No help to come after On messed up on the level 1. And now IG are just kind of overdue on the loans that they've had to pay from that level 1. Here you see it, like Leyan gets caught, Wink gets the hook, but literally, like, look how long it is, unfortunately, in the stopwatch before you actually get the ultimate coming through from Wink.
Yeah.
And just that damage isn't there to finish off the Nidalee. And from that, IG don't get the resets to take out like Zorah, who's low, and try and follow up on these damages.
What's so sad there is, and in the grand scheme of things, probably doesn't mean too much, but like the auto attack from On was like literally on top of Leyan, and that was a huge shutdown. I think obviously Mo can do a lot with it. We've seen him be like really the only person that's able to show up in the second game, but you gotta feel a little bit bad for On, where like you really are just so desperate for that goal that you can't even get it.
Yeah, it's a bit of a heartbreak here for IG.
He hasn't gotten his stacks cashed in. He's still waiting.
Dude said he left.
Yeah, I don't know either. Zorah just keeps eating the seismic shoves, but it doesn't matter.
Look, sometimes you just gotta try and like train your body. You gotta take the hits. Look, this guy's got a a match next week that he's got to get ready for. He's just doing a bit of training, taking some hits, getting that conditioning in. On.
Oh my god.
He tried to take one hit and nearly went down. So not so hot for the AD carry for IG.
So,
but
what do you think?
Baron.
So far, at least. What do you? We still have obviously a long series potentially with the 3rd game. What do you think about Zorah? How do you feel it?
I mean, he's doing pretty. Oh, hang on.
Never mind. Strive gets cease and desisted. The seismic shove from Mole will separate a little bit more, but RA again, they are just so far in the lead. These fights are nonsense. Like, you cannot take these fights with this much of a deficit. Zika's trying with the outplay of the Gwen, but it's a double kill quickly for Strive, and yet another clean fight from RA.
So Zorah's been trying. Like, I don't think he's been too bad. Like, I think the fact that he's been able to get control, I just don't know what to say anymore about these fights. Like, it has been start to finish, complete control here from Rare Adam. And I mean, just the scoreline across the board says it all. 6-0-5 in the mid lane, 3-1-10 for iBoy, 5-1-8 for Leyan. Still, bad Leyan hasn't upgraded to the book. Honestly, I think that's my biggest gripe with this game for Rare Adam. But other than that, it's been pretty damn clean.
Yeah, you get to see that replay. It doesn't matter how hard you try. In the end, it didn't even matter because IG just gets wiped with that fight. And they try to kind of contest. They think maybe the Baron's going down. But in the end, it's just their team going down. And obviously, On not having much to say in the mid lane there. And right now, it's just that slow and steady burn. But Dragon coming up on the table here. We've seen IG fight time and time again. Maybe we get another one here, Dagda.
I mean, you can just keep running your head at the brick wall. Maybe it'll eventually break.
Wink
but
will get an
also
execution, I swear.
We will see. Like, they will come. We'll have to see if Wink can actually manage to land it, though. Because at the moment, it's just a case of, do IG even have the damage to get people low at this stage? Or do Rare Adam even care? Because they're just like, hey, Dragon's cool and all, but like, we got Baron. He just cracked a base.
It's for 2 minutes, too. I mean, backs are just now getting completed from IG in the top lane, and this will be inhibs down in the bottom and the mid lane for RA, and they want to try to get this last one. At least maybe the defense from IG is enough. RA overextend, could be some punishment. Land doesn't have much mana to speak of, but it's still 4v5, and it's feeling one-sided in favor of RA, and now it's going to be a 5v5, which just absolutely blows them out of the water. Cube will keep pushing in mid. The Glacial Fisher comes out. Shun has to flash, and you already have tools being used. The Cube goes right back in with the counter-strike. Nice seismic shove on Zorah, but again, he just eats it every time, and iBoy takes down Wink. He will not land a death from below this game. He will not get a kill, and RA will smash a little bit harder and potentially buy a little bit more time for IG to find a comeback.
Yeah, I mean, you're out of a wave. There's still that one pushing in the mid lane, though, and health bars on IG are getting incredibly low. It looks like we're just going to brute force this as Rare Adam.
Yeah, we got the switch And Strive will just TP right back in. It's just been constant pressure, and IG in trouble here. As we said, wanted to win every game, but RA will deny that, and RA take game number 2.
I mean, easy peasy for Rare Adam there. Absolutely decimating IG from the get-go. Complete control from the jungle. Gives the lane states exactly what they need. You know, Cube in the good matchup with the Jax on the top side. Strive being able to link up with Leyan and work well together. You've got iBoy, who essentially has a free lane because On is out of it from level 1. So, Rare Adam, just clean as you like. Super easy game plan for them to execute on.
Yeah, speaking of execution, right? That's literally the tried and true method at this point in the LPL. Game 1, smash from one side. Game 2, switch sides, smash for the other side. Game 3, what do we get? It's a smorgasbord. And at this point, we get to see both teams really having complete control of the map. I feel like if you're comparing wins, RA is a little bit more dominant early on, but I still think you got to see a lot of the benefits we get of the compositions, especially the synergies that we've highlighted so heavily today already, Dagda.
Yeah, I think with this loss, though, we will say that Invictus Gaming, unfortunately, just are out of playoffs. It's going to be... They're not officially out of playoffs, but it's going to be incredibly hard for them to get there. Especially because FPX do have WE still to play, unless WE have some sort of crazy upset. But even then, as we talked about, TT, ELG still gunning for that spot as well. So just going to make it just insanely hard for IG to try and move on from this one. And when they're playing like this, it's kind of hard to root for them to make playoffs. This was a team that I myself particularly had high hopes for coming into summer. I thought that Zika was a great addition back in spring. It felt like this squad was going to start to come together after a bit of time, but just haven't been able to find that success. And now Mole coming in, as you can see, Mole trying his damnedest.
He
like
did, man.
Massive damage. But wait, did he? Wait, he had...
Oh, no. No, don't do it,
He had almost
Dagda.
more damage than the rest of his team had.
Dagda, stop.
That is insane.
Oh, my God.
That
That's
is insane.
incredible. That is actually incredible. There's been so many times in my head that I've tried to do that and see if it works. And, oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
The fact is, like, the Taliyah pick,
Where
that was not the problem.
49%?
That was not the problem at all. Because the fact of the matter was, like, the catch-outs were still there, but it was the holistic breakdown of IG in terms of strategy that really brought RA a absolute haymaker.
Yeah, I mean, look at that damage to go
incredible.
ratio for Mole. Oh, God. I'm sorry, Mole.